squeezing, pulling the head up, nothing's working for the finish. If you can't get the finish on the choke from the triangle, you can always attack the arm. I'm going to take this arm, I'm going to break it, stretching it out this way, taking a straight arm there. So when our opponent sits to a seated guard, they have a power hand on the lapel, and we have their elbow. We can keep that arm stuck up here, and they sit, and they're sitting here like this, with a head and one arm hanging up, and you guys can see the triangle waiting here. And it goes to sit to guard, and we're right over for a triangle. So you've got submitting, passing off the pole, submitting off the pole, negating the pole is the next thing. Negating the pole is one of the easiest, simplest. You don't need to do anything too intricate. It's just going to be intercepting his pull with a knee drop. When he goes to pull, I drop to my knee, my back knee, my lead knee and elbow connect, and I have my hand, my power hand on the lapel. And then from here we can look to pass guard with a knee cut pass. So I'm in here, and I don't know exactly how Ant's going to pull, okay? I'm not ready to intercept, Ant just pulls. And when he does that, I drop to my knee. Here. Now when Ant goes to submit or do anything, the fact that I've got my knee and my elbow connected over here makes it very hard for me to do anything. Not only that, but now I can start driving my knee north of the belt. And I can start to drive myself through into knee cut passes. By doing this, it's hard for Ant to elevate me. Remember that when Ant pulls guard, one of his goals is start getting me forward and up and starting to get me out of balance here. But when he pulls and I drop, it's very hard for him to get my weight up and over. This is a good way of me settling my weight down and making it hard for him to take me forward and over the top. So I'm here, I feel Ant going to pull. I drop to my left knee, I maintain good posture, and I keep my right knee and right elbow connected. Now as Ant tries to pull me into his guard as he sits back, I start to hop over the leg over here, pushing the knee down and hopping over the leg, and I end up here in a split squat. Now Ant is going to try to bring his left knee in. I keep my right knee, right elbow, and right side together to keep that knee out. Now I get inside the elbow, pulling up, and we have our pass. And even if you don't get the pass right away, you're still in a better position than if you had just accepted his guard pull under his terms. He tries to pull, and we're going to stop his pull with our terms. I'm here, Ant wants to pull me into his dangerous game. Go ahead. I drop right here. Head up and back. Hips down and forward. Knee and elbow connected. He pulls me into his attacks. Very hard. And now from here, I'm going to look to start pushing the knee down, stepping across, and forcing my way into a split squat position where now I can start hitting my knee cut pass. So that's negating the guard pull. So we've seen preventing the guard pull with things like grip and distance. We've seen passing off the pull, both passing supine pulls and passing seated pulls, mostly with toriandos, knee cuts, and we saw a long step and a cross step in there too. So stopping the pull and passing off the pull. Thirdly, we had submitting off the pull, going into either lower body submissions, ankle locks, knee bars, heel hooks, or going into upper body submissions by stepping over the shoulder into the mounted triangle position where we can attack triangles and arm bars. So preventing the pull, passing off the pull, submitting off the pull. This last section we looked at negating the pull, where we just hit a knee drop position, where I dropped my back knee, I kept my head up, my hips forward, and my knee and elbow together in this good position. And then from this position, I can start to force my way past the guard, carving my knee through the middle. Then our last section for countering our opponent's guard pull is going to be what we call cheap shot takedowns. Now this is a situation where I anticipate that my opponent's going to pull guard, and so I'm going to try to throw out a takedown attempt just so I get so I get the score. Let's understand the rules of jujitsu a little bit. Let's take a look at the rules so we understand this idea better. If we're here squared up, if I start the action of shooting, and in response to the shot, Ant decides to pull guard, I will get 2 points for a takedown because I initiated the action. If I think, oh, okay, I think Ant is going to pull guard as soon as I engage. I think as soon as I engage, he's going to look to pull. So if I engage like this, and he pulls, I'm going to get 2 points for a takedown. Let's contrast that with a situation where Ant takes a grip on me, and I see him start the process of pulling. Either that or sitting, doesn't matter, but he starts the process of pulling. And as he lower your leg, as I see this, and I see, oh, he's pulling, I want to get a quick takedown. I won't score anything because he initiated the action. So the person who initiates is the one who's seen as leading the dance. If the person, right, if I'm doing a takedown, if I initiate and then Ant pulls, I'm gonna get score points. If Ant first initiates, just start to sit, and I tackle him because he initiated the takedown, I don't score anything. It's considered a guard pull for him. So, what does this mean? How does this work for us? If I come up to grips with Ant, and I think this guy is going to do some sort of guard pull, if I think I watched him in his other matches, or I've rolled with him before, and he doesn't have takedown games, he just likes to pull. I can come out, and as soon as I make grips, start to look at trips. So if he starts to sit to guard, as soon as we make grips, go ahead. I'm gonna get 2 points for a takedown. Because I initiated a takedown attempt, I initiated a trip. Was it a good attempt? No. Was it a strong takedown? No. But I tried takedown and he went to his butt. So I scored 2 points for a takedown. So again, if I think he's gonna pull guard, I can come in and the very second I make grips, I'm looking to start harassing his feet. Now, even if I don't legitimately get a takedown, if I miss and he pulls guard, as long as like, okay. Now there, I didn't actually touch the foot, so I might not have gotten the takedown on that. But let's say I come in a situation where I'm like this, boom, a touch, and he like steps off, and he goes down, and I'm gonna get a takedown. Okay? What are some other ways we can do this? We can do this with shots. Okay, and it doesn't have to be trips. That was just one thing. I'll show the trip again. We come up, we make grips, and I'm gonna get a score. Even if it wasn't a very good takedown, if he decided to sit to guard at the same time I tripped him, if I tripped and he decided to sit to guard at the same exact moment he sits, I'm scoring. Now another thing, what if we're playing the distance game here, and I think he's just trying to get any sort of grip on me so he can sit. Right there, he'll sit. Even this, even just a cuff grip, that's all he's looking for. So if I think this guy's playing that game, I'm playing here, I'm playing the distance game, I'm not letting him get grips. And if I think he's gonna sit the second he grips me, I might do something like this. And now I'm gonna score a takedown. He wanted to sit to guard. Maybe I just came in and went like this, and then he chose to sit. That's a takedown for me. Now this one's technically in the rules. If I'm holding onto the pants and he sits guard, that's a takedown for me. It's seen as him conceding the takedown fight. So if we grip, we're in here, and I think he's gonna sit to guard, and I go here, and he sits, I score 2 points. So if I think this guy might pull guard, I'm just gonna try to get a grip on the pants right away. If I think he's seriously gonna pull guard, I might come in like this, pulling him. And if I get this grip on the pants and he sits, I'm gonna score 2 points for a takedown. Even if we're in a situation like this, we're up here dancing. And if I make this grip and we're dancing around like this, and then he chooses to sit, I score 2 points for a takedown. Because he gave up the takedown fight. He had a threat on a takedown because I had his leg. And instead of defending the takedown, he just decided to sit. So he's seeing as conceding the takedown fight, and so I'm going to score 2 points for the takedown. I think that's kind of the long and short of it. Well, countering your opponent's guard pulls. So we have those 5 sections. We have those 5 sections. We can prevent the pull using distance and angle and gripping. If we can't prevent the pull, we can try to pass off the pull. We can pass supine guard pulls with either a toreando around the outside or a knee cut through the middle. We can pass off seated guard pulls, either cross steps through the middle, toreandos and long steps around the outside for seated guard pulls. So that's passing off the pull. Then we had submitting off the pull. When our opponent sits to guard, we can either attack the lower body, we can attack ankle locks if they do a supine pull. If they do a seated pull, we can backstep into knee bars and cross ashigarami, heel hooks, toe holds, and all those good things. If our opponent sits and they keep their power hand up in the air, we can step over the shoulder for a mounted triangle situation. And we have triangle and armbar submissions as well. So preventing the pull, passing off the pull, and submitting off the pull. Then the 4th section was negating the pull. When our opponent goes to pull guard and we're not quite sure what's going on, and we just want to sit down to the guard and not get swept, we hit a knee drop. We drop to our back knee, connect the front knee and elbow together, and we take this good defensive position for guard passing. And we negate their guard pull. So they pulled guard, but they didn't get what they wanted. They didn't get into a good attacking position. In fact, we have all the inside position here. And then last but not least, if you anticipate that your opponent's going to pull guard, you're pretty sure they're going to pull, you can try to score some easy takedown points even before the pull by just threatening a takedown first. If you're the first one to pull the trigger in your takedown attempt and they decide to pull guard in response to your takedown attempt, congratulations, you scored a takedown. If you think this person's going to pull guard and you come up and you make grips on them, and as soon as you make grips, you touch their foot with your foot and something that looks like a trip, and they decide to sit to guard because they don't want to work the takedown game, congratulations, you scored a takedown. If your opponent comes up and makes grips with you, and you think they might sit to guard and you're not quite sure, if you just reach and get a handful of cloth on the person's pants, and then they sit to guard, congratulations, you scored a takedown. They conceded the takedown game. So you can, what we call, I guess, cheap shot takedowns. All right? You can perform a takedown that, would it work against somebody who's fighting and resisting the takedown? Nope, won't put them down. But if somebody's going to willingly sit to their butt, you may as well get 2 points for it. Touch a leg, right? Threaten some sort of takedown, they sit, you score. So with those 5 tactics, you should be well equipped for how to deal with somebody who's going to pull guard on you and try to work their offensive game against you right away. Remember, if you don't remember anything else, if you remember nothing else, when they go to pull guard, try to be outside the knees and try to be forward in front of the hip line. Outside the knees, get in front of the hip line with some part of your body, and you're going to be putting some real pressure on your partner. And if you guys have the wherewithal to remember more of the details of guard passing, remember we went through those 5 sections. Feel free to pause the video at any time and try to review them yourself. Those 5 sections were: you can prevent the guard pull with distance, angle, and grip fighting tactics. If they pull guard, you can try to pass off the pull, both seated pulls and supine pulls. If they pull, you can try to submit off the pull and get the win right away. Submit them with an ankle lock or a mounted triangle or armbar or what have you. If you can't submit them off the pull, you can at the very least negate their pull. If they're going to pull, drop to a position where you're in a good, solid defensive position and they can't attack you. And last but not least, if you can anticipate their guard pull and you get off a takedown attempt as they're pulling guard, or you initiate, you're the first one to start and they pull guard in response to your takedown, you scored 2 points. That's a great way to counter the guard pull as well. So with all that, you guys have a lot of good ways to counter your opponent's guard pulls, and you should have a relatively complete standing game at this point.